Hello everybody, welcome back to another installment of Roy Cannaday's Top 100 Board Games. It's me, Roy Cannaday. I'm here to talk about all the games. I like board games, and if you're here, I'm assuming that you like board games as well, but I do want to get into my, this is going to be 90 through 81. This is the second video on the list. Normally the first video gets a ton, and then like the later videos get a ton as we get higher in, but hey, thanks for sticking around to check out these games in the middle. Next one here on my list is number 90. This is Unsettled, another space game. This is a game where you're going to different planets and cooperatively trying to figure out what to do to basically figure out what you need to do on the planet and then get off. You work as a team. There's a bunch of like teamwork and actions. You're basically using your dice to do different actions as the game goes along. I really enjoy kind of like the story that this game has. It has just a little bit of like flavor text and story here and there, but the flavor text and story is done very well and normally pretty humorous as you're going to these different like sci-fi planets and trying to work together. One of the things I love about this game is the cooperation is so great in this game, and sometimes you have to like push somebody along and they can get over here to get this thing, to get the right amount of stuff to be able to save the day. It's a fun game and a lot of cooperation, and that's why it's my number 90. My number 89 is Dixit. Dixit is a game with lots of different crazy artwork in the game. I love the art in this game, and everybody always talks about that when they talk about Dixit, but I also really enjoy how you have to subtly give clues to the other players. And this game can lead to a bunch of like inside jokes or inside things, or maybe even like trying to like throw a clue to a specific player that you know will know about that video game or that IP or that thing that they'll come to their mind, but not trying to give it to everybody else, especially not the person who's currently in the lead, and trying to figure out how to meta this game and figure out cool ways to play it. It's a lot of fun. I've had so much success playing this with my family and my friends and just so many different people Dixit has really worked well for. So Dixit is a great party style game and a lot of fun, my 89. My number 88 is a new game to the list. This is Massive Darkness 2. This is a dungeon crawl, which gives you a lot of those feels of those normal dungeon crawls with monsters coming out and you're trying to go different places to do objectives. But this one is slightly different in the fact that it has every player plays slightly different. Each class plays slightly different. So you can have a wizard that's trying to maximize their cards and figure out the best way to play spells, or barbarians that are trying to do different things. And every single player has different slightly little mini games that you're kind of playing to activate your abilities and activate your actions on your board. It's just a lot of fun. It adds just kind of like that extra layer of depth. A lot of times I play games like Zombicide and things like that, and I feel like the choices are too readily apparent. You walk forward, you roll dice. This one gives you a little bit more meaningful choices as you play the game, and that's why it made my list. I really enjoyed Massive Darkness 2. If you played Massive Darkness 1 and didn't enjoy it, this is completely different. They added in a lot more to the game, so definitely check out Massive Darkness 2. It's very enjoyable. And my number 88. My number 87 is a game that is very much feels like a Euro style game, but it makes my list just because of how easy it is. You're buying plots of land and building out buildings and getting points for where you build those buildings, and this is Foundations of Rome. It's just a clean design. Emerson is like the king of clean designs when it comes to games, and it's just a lot of fun being able to build out your different pieces, trying to figure out how to get the correct plots of land to build the buildings you want to maximize the points. It's all about getting points and getting all your stuff and getting money and getting everything coming in. But just the way you have that card system of buying the lots and just figuring out when you're gonna build buildings and when you're gonna get the right things and when you're gonna get rid of buildings to build new buildings out. And the table presence of this game is ridiculous. Arcane Wonders did an amazing job making this game just look gorgeous on your table. So I really enjoy Foundations of Rome. It's a lot of fun to play, and that's why it made my top 100. The next one here, my 86, is Sheriff of Nottingham. I really enjoy Sheriff of Nottingham. It is a very simple like bluffing game overall. You're trying to collect different goods, but there are some goods that are contraband goods. There's some goods that you get basically points for having the most of different goods and things like that. So you're trying to figure out ways to sneak these goods in past the sheriff. You're hiding all these cards in a bag. You're telling the sheriff that you have legitimate goods in there. And then from there, you can kind of maybe bribe the sheriff to try to like sneak stuff through. Or maybe you can try to do different stuff. If the sheriff pops your bag and there's illegal goods in there or not what you said, you're going to lose your money for the game. If they pop the bag and it is what you said, they're going to lose money. So there's an interesting play back and forth. Sometimes you could try to lie and get stuff in or sneak through or maybe even bribe them. Or sometimes you can pretend like you're lying and put legitimate stuff in there so they pop the bag and they're like, oh wait, you didn't lie, this is fine. This is just a great game and a game that's not that hard to play and works with a bunch of groups of people. This is a great, welcoming game. So Sheriff of Nottingham, a lot of fun. All right, my number 85 has been my go-to party game for a while. This is a game that has worked so well with so many people, and this is JustOne. The concept of JustOne is super simple. It's a cooperative game where somebody shows a card out to the other players, then everybody secretly writes a word that will lead that person to guess that word that they saw, and then basically they'll all reveal it without that person looking. If there's anybody who wrote the same words, those words are eliminated. And then they have to see the clues that were given and try to guess the word. I played this with a lot of my girlfriend Ruthie's friends, and it has been a blast. I played this with a lot of my family members, and it has been a blast. This is just a great game to play and get to the table, and I think it works with almost anyone. This is a top tier party game, and it's just amazing to play, a ton of fun, and you can play it with anyone. A blast. That is JustOne. All right, my number 84 is Flashpoint Fire Rescue. This is a cooperative game where you're trying to go in and save different civilians or people that are trapped in a fire. I just really like the way this game comes together. All your firefighters have different special abilities. This kind of is along the lines of, it gives me sort of vibes of Pandemic, but I feel like it's more active as you're running around, having your people try to save people from a burning building, and the fire is constantly spreading as the game goes along. You're trying to figure out okay, if I move here, I can turn out the fire and turn out the smoke so that way it doesn't grow even more, and get over here and save this person. And then sometimes you think a person's somewhere and you flip it over and there's not even anybody there, and then another person token comes out. I don't know why this building is so full of people. They just keep populating with more and more people, but saving them is a noble thing to do, and it's a great game and just fits that firefighter theme so well. And it's just an active game of stopping the fire. It's just a lot of fun. I played it with my kids. I played it with my girlfriend a ton. It's a lot of fun to play. I really enjoy Flashpoint Fire Rescue. On my number 83, I really enjoy card games. I grew up playing a lot of collectible card games. I really enjoy living card games. This is another living card game style game, and this is Netrunner. This one is a bit more complex, and honestly, I wish I could play it even more. It's one of those where the learning curve is up there, and the people that know the game could probably crush you in the game, but the mechanics of Netrunner are so solid. I really enjoy the fact of one side is a corporation and they're trying to lock down all these different assets and keeping the runners out. And the other side are runners that are trying to figure out how to build up their rig and hack into the system and break through those firewalls and get the stuff. It is so thematic for a living card game style game. And honestly, I don't own a copy of this. I haven't played in quite a while, but I still have such fond memories of playing it. I honestly want to get a core set and just kind of casually play it with people just because it's such a fun game to play as you're going back and forth trying to bluff on where these different assets are as a corporation and trying to figure out and suss out what's going on. You can attack their hand basically to try to see if they're hiding assets in their hand. You can attack their deck to see if they're hiding assets on the top of their deck, or you can go through these different firewalls to try to break stuff down. It's so thematic, so fun. That is Netrunner. All right, my number 82 here is a super simple game. This is the game that kind of started that micro game craze off, and this is Love Letter. And I'm doing this as a catch-all for all versions of Love Letter. I recently really enjoyed the Star Wars Love Letter that I played, but I played the regular Love Letter a ton of times, and this was kind of one of my go-to introductory games to get people into the hobby a little bit, just because it's so simple. I had plenty of games of this at work, at lunch break, just random people who've never played board games before. I'd be playing Love Letter with some people, we'd deal some other people in, other different people would be trying it. It's just so simple, just trying to knock the other players out with a different card play. And the fact that there's all sorts of different IPs, you can find an IP that works really well for the group of people you're trying to play with. and they've added a little bit more complexities to the game in different ways with the Star Wars one or the Marvel one or the like Lovecraft one. There's a bunch of different themes on this now that's not just saving the princess or sussing out the princess, but that version works really well as well. I enjoy all versions of Love Letter. It's a fun game to play and my go-to for kind of introducing people to board games. My number 81 to finish up the list today is Dracon. This is a tile laying game where you're all different heroes going through a dungeon trying to find 10 gold before the other players. If you're able to find the gold, the dragon allows you to escape. If not, the dragon eats your character. So basically, it is very interesting the way this works out is you're playing different tiles that do all sorts of different wacky things, like allow you to move tiles around or allow you to kind of like go in a circle. A lot of these tiles have like one-way paths, so you're also making these mazes a little bit. We're trying to figure out a way to get gold and then get enough to win the game. The gold has different values on it, so you're just trying to like steal gold from other players or put stuff there. There's a lot of random craziness going on in this game, but I've just had such a blast playing Dracon. It's a lot of fun. It's a Tom Jolly game that it just has that like nostalgic of like older style games, and I have a lot of fun with it. So Dracon is my number 81. Well, anyway, thanks so much for joining me here for my top 100. I hope you're enjoying these. I hope you're enjoying everybody's top 100. Make sure to leave in the comments down below if you've played some of these games and which game you're most interested in playing if you haven't tried these out. If there's a game you haven't heard before and you just now heard about it for the first time on this list, that'd be another amazing comment. I'm in the comments checking out to see what people are saying with different stuff. But I do want to say thank you so much to the support from everybody who is excited about my top 100 list, especially if you're those people that are super excited about those thematic games as me. And also, hopefully you're able to check out some new games when you check these lists out. Anyway, I've been Cannaday. I hope you have an amazing week, and I'll see you on the next one.